What's up, YouTube? It is I, the 3D printing wizard, with a quick stream today. I have some board games to unbox and a project I'm working on that I'd like to chat about with everybody. You just select the stream here in StreamYard, not StreamYard, OBS. As you can tell, I still have a cold, but it's all good. Yeah, let's open up a game. We have Lure, upside down, Lure. Pick that up at the friendly local game store. The Lure is a really quick, tiny game where you roll some dice to catch some fish. And we all know how I like catching fish. I know a lot of people go fishing, I go catching. Just saying. Signed by Satoru Nakamura, so it must be a Japanese game. Oh, that's a lot of dice. I like it. And a small deck of cards. Anything? Oh boy. Oh, we got tokens. Oh yeah, these are little player blinds. Little player blinds. Look at that. Yeah. Set up your little blind. And then you roll your dice behind there so people don't know what you're doing. Splash effect. Draw one fish. All right, all the rules are in here. That's cool. I approve of this message. Yeah, we got our cigarette pack style opening. I love when game companies give me this. Never smoked, but I sure did like opening up packs of cigarettes. Not really. Decent cards. Not really that many, so I feel this is a filler game. Main pick, ooh, striped bass. White crappie. That really doesn't look like a crappie. Yeah, art might be a little off. We got some tokens. These modify your dice rolls. Ugh. The tokens in the bag, and I guess the other bag we'll use for the dice. Not the dice, the cards. Yeah, pop these out. I'm excited. I got some pretty cool games in the pile over there. Sorry, I still have the camera angle from... Oh yeah, we can turn the main on again. Look at the camera angle set up from painting. I don't really feel like moving my camera. Been a lazy week. Not really, actually. It's been a lot of cold and snow plowing with my hand shovels. All right. Put this in the recycling bin. What moved? I moved my recycling bin. Boom. Yeah, that's Lure. Pretty cool. I played it on, it's on Board Game Arena, so if you want to check it out, definitely check it out on Board Game Arena for free. Well, you might have to have a premium member. That right there. Next is one I picked up the other day. Toy Battle. I've also played this on Board Game Arena. Two-player game. I don't have too many two-player games. I've got Squadro and the piloting game. Oh yeah. So this is a area control slash there's a name for that style game. Oh wow, here's your little player box to draw from instead of a player bag. And these pieces are super chunky. Oh, what's in the bag? These must be tokens. Yep, those are tokens. Look, little wooden tokens that are screen printed. That's cool. Tower defense game. So here's all the tokens. They're one-sided. Do I have to build the box? To accommodate every type of color blindness, the blue and red troop tiles have a corresponding shape. Oh. Triangle. Round top. That way, if you're colorblind, you can see the difference. All right. Build these boxes? This is weird. I don't know if I like the boxes. I don't know if I like the boxes. I prefer a bag. I might just go on Amazon and buy me a couple of bags. I mean, it's supposed to feel like, you know, a toy box where you kind of grab your toys from. I should be weird and put all the blue ones in the red box and the red ones in the blue box. But these are some really chunky. This is like 4 times thickness. I mean, look how thick that cardboard is. It's definitely a 4x thick piece of cardboard. Alright, those are all blue. You can see all the tokens are kid stuff. So we got skeletons and rubber duckies and green army men and some robots and some unicorns and a giant T-Rex. Yeah. It's basically a 2-player tower defense game, in a way. Put the rest of the blues in the blue box. I still can't believe that it's a box. A little... Oh, these are cool. Solid wood. Player token tray, so you put your player tokens on this. That is a little obsessive. Hey, what's up, Gigi? You're cleaning your closet. Who are you murdering? Yeah, I don't know if you've seen Toy Battle, Gigi, but yeah, pretty cool. Pretty cool. But yeah, I don't know how these boxes are gonna fit in here. I mean, I guess they will. I believe in you, game designers. But I will say these are probably some of the thickest pieces. I think the only game I've ever played that had thicker pieces was Ra. Ra has massive, chunky pieces. My question is, I have to keep them all in this little paper bag? I mean, save a forest, use a plastic bag? I don't know. Got some rules, and the cool thing about this game is it has 5 different maps or 4 different maps. I'm murdering clothes. Oh yeah. So here's a little sand level. Here's a little robot. Oh, yeah, and here's your little station. So it's got different maps and courses on it. You can see how it's kind of like a lane battler. So you kind of have your starting space. Here's a red start, blue start. Put your pieces down. It's interesting. It was kind of fun playing it on Board Game Arena. Again, it's a 2-player game. I don't know how much use I'm going to get out of a 2-player game. But there are days where there's just me and one friend for board game night. So last few times it's been just me and Corey. Shout out to Corey, the man, the myth, the legend. He's working on a comic book right now. He's quite the artist and caricature drawer. So if anyone ever needs caricature work, highly recommend the Corey. Alright, little toy box. And then somehow these go in here. And then this is where I'm confused. How does... Ugh. I'm just going to put this in one of the boxes. Red box, you get the tokens. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to make sure that those tokens get put into a plastic bag, which I probably have one nearby. Yeah. A little more cardboard for the pile of cardboard. Alright. This game, I think Gigi would like this game. This is River Valley Glassworks. Here, main camera. River Valley Glassworks. It's cute. It's a bunch of river animals, like river otters and crocodiles and froggies. And it's kind of Mancala style. You got little glass pieces. So Let's see. And so they're all play game. They've been making some pretty decent games. I picked up quite a few of them. I hope the pieces are actually like Mancala pieces, not cardboard. That's some. Ooh, it's got spot UV coating. Hold on, see if I can get to show up. Yeah, spot UV. Big fan of production value. All right, got a rule book that I just folded poorly. Oh yeah, it's colors, and it's not. Oh my gosh, this is a little bit more interesting than I thought it'd be. Let's grab a cool color. Get this cool green. Yeah. Little chunks of glass. Like Mancala, but it's actually all different shapes, and the shapes matter. Because of the part of the movement is sharp. Ooh, and it's got, see, I like me a really nice bag for bag building games. There's a really nice bag. And there are some pieces to take out. Also very thick. Holy cow, we got 2 games of the same thickness cardboard. Oh, look at that character. Let's see. Player boards. Portal. Beaver Boutique. Look, it's Gigi. You're the Beaver Boutique. Yeah. Oppen Glass Mart. And we got some bags. And some I don't know what. And this random hiking bear. Alright, these can go in this bag. Okay. And these are the little areas where the pieces get put down. Got the little end of the river here. Beautiful bag. I gotta admit, some of these pieces, one of them has glitter. Yep. These have glitter in them. Pretty cool pink color. Some, I guess, yeah, that's black with glitter in it. Alright. See, if I open this first, I could use these bags, because I don't need them for this game. Yeah, this was a fun game that I played on Board Game Arena. A lot of these, again, most of the games I purchase are because I played on Board Game Arena and I liked them, or I didn't understand the game, so I want to buy it and play it and learn how to play, because I have a lot of friends who play on Board Game Arena. Actually, Corey and I just got done playing 2 games of Cosmoctopus. Excuse me. On Board Game Arena, yep. That's River Valley Glassworks. Oop. Wrong button. Alright. One more game. I gotta make some room. It's a chonker. It's the Night of the Living Dead Zombicide game with a total of 66 miniatures in the box. So if you don't know what Zombicide is, Zombicide, that's actually one of the first modern board games I bought. It was basically like Zombicide and oh boy, I'm already like forgetting some of the original games that I bought. Zombicide was one of them, and it showed me that, oh yeah, how big is your actual room? Does it go all the way to the right? This way? Yeah, it's like double. You're seeing about half, and then it goes another half. Zombicide. Again, more pickups from the friendly local game store. But yeah, it does actually have 2 modes, and my camera's not set up for this. show you, but you can play this in either Zombicide mode or in a mode where you play as the classic character. So every character actually has two versions. So you can play as a classic character or a Zombicide version where they're like souped up. You've got like the regular Barbara, and then you got Barbara with a shotgun. You've got regular Helen, Helen with samurai swords, so on and so forth. It's not unlimited. I do culling. So if I want a new game and it doesn't fit on the shelf of shame, which is above me and to my right, camera left, I have to get rid of a game, and I donate it to my friendly local game store or a friend. Like, I just donate stuff. You know, if I have to at least played it, because my thing is like I'm trying to find the best games that I love, and part of that is culling. You know, you got to make sure that you only keep the games you know you're going to play. Like, I was looking at, you've probably heard of Galactic Cruise. They had it at the game store. I mean, and the box was twice as big as this and thicker. $100 for the game. It was like $109 or something like that. And it's a Euro. I'm not a big Euro fan. As a collector, I'd love to have it, but I literally was talking to my friend. I was like, we'd play it once, and that's it. Yes, you need a new knee. Oh, yeah. And by the way, as a horror movie buff, that's just amazing. And this is a huge rule book. I mean, huge, because there's a bunch of scenarios. So, and it goes over everything, like different characters. You got the fatty zombie, the breaker, the relative. And you got each character gets very well explained, how the movement works. But it's very much a oh yeah, all the little tokens to upgrade your character. A lot of little bits. It's a very fiddly game. But I do like the theme. I actually got rid of Zombicide. So, yeah, selling games is hard. You know, most board gamers have the games they want or don't know they want it. Oh yeah, here's all the different, here's walkers, breakers, relatives. So this is a zombie that's actually related to one of the characters in the game. Barricade and door opening. And then table leg as a weapon, and tire iron, and Winchester 94, and different guns, baseball bat. So yeah, chainsaw, very Aaron, poor baby. Set a relative in the zone, and then discard this card. Plenty of bullets, so you got ammo. Yeah, it's a pretty cool game. I like the mode that this one's trying to give us, which is, you know, you can play like this endless horde, and you're in the house trying to barricade it up. So all the different characters from the movie. Ben is the best. And of course, you've got the traditional CMON, and you got your life tracker. Oh no, yeah, there we go. Life tracker card holder, so you put your player character in here, and then your left-handed weapon, your right-handed weapon, and then your accessories here. Almost like a backpack. Very typical Zombicide game. Here's box 1 of miniatures. Yep, that's a lot of minis. We're not painting these. They're too small. Here's your main cast in gray, and then you have your modified ones in this brown. I might prime them and wash them. And then, of course, you've got all your different zombies. And underneath is a whole second row. Oh, I'm losing zombies. Yep, we're losing characters. Put that away. Yeah, so many zombies. And I'm missing one more somewhere. That went in the box. Many, many zombies. All right, we'll put that away before we... we'll actually look at some of them. So, where's Ben? We want to at least look at Ben. Ben's the coolest. Very good mini. But yeah, I think I might prime them. Excuse me. I might prime them and then get them set up for like a wash of some sort. So at least the color gets a little bit nicer. Oh, and then at the bottom of the box is the board. And this is, we'll switch to the main camera. Yeah, the player boards are nice. And then most of CMON games, like I have, so down here, right here, Masters of the Universe. So I got the He-Man, same thing. But that's more of a you versus them, us versus them. Oh, there's stuff to punch out. But yeah, you're literally building the house. So these are all the different rectangles for everything. So here's like a room of the house, probably like the barn. Here's like a room. So you're going to put these together in the scenario order to build your house. And there's some tokens. And I don't know where to put... Oh, I see where the tokens go. All right. Punch these tokens out. I need to set my overhead camera back up into my overhead mode. But really, I just want to open these up and then talk about project I'm working on. It's a 3D printing project. All right. Boom, into the recycling pile. This will go back in the box. Oh, look, it's got little art on the side. Oh. On 2G the other day, I was looking... $2,000? What kind of game is worth $2,000? Alright, so underneath all of these, because it does play up to 6 players, there's a little hidey hole for all your bits. Oh, we're going to get to that. Once I put this away, I will say I'm going to buy upgraded dice. Because that's pretty meh. Pretty meh for dice. Alright. Trays back in the tray holder. Put this back in this. Put the rules back in the rule area. And then we cover it up. I do like the player count 1 to 6. Some board game nights I do have like 5 people. But Zombicide, Night of the Living Dead. I should be putting it back in the shelf of shame pile. Yeah. Alright. The project I'm working on. Let me push the microphone out of my way. Is this. So this is a painting handle I developed. I wanted a painting handle that I can rotate the object. So this is the version 0.1. This is the first one. It all prints in place. And you put the mini up here. I'll show you. I had choices to make, and I kind of want to talk about the choices. So here's some, tack like you'd normally use. And you'd grab a miniature, like, here's this guy. He's already painted. Put your tack on there. Stick them on your painting handle, and then while you're painting, you can rotate the mini without having to, readjust the handle a whole bunch of times. So this is how I would normally paint and, brace my hand here and paint. You guys have watched my live streams. And I really wanted something where I can literally move the mini, but it doesn't move too quickly. So this first model had some issues. A little bit too much play. So it spins a little too freely. I mean, it literally spins pretty freely for a 3D printed object. And it's a little too smooth, but, pretty good. And then I got to the second version, and much smoother. No play. The only downfall was I actually had to pry. So you can see the layer, the seam. Well, that seam is also on the inside print. So when it got close to this end, it ended up fusing a little bit. I had to like crank on this thing to finally break it. So I had to do a modification. I also added a center point, so you know where the center is to put your dollop of sticky tack. So that way the miniature is centered. Just little things. I've been iterating basically. I changed the shape of the handle so it's a little bit more comfortable to hand. Still not perfect. Yeah, I got this, and then I made a second version, and I increased the tolerances again, so it's a little sloppier, but this one I added texture. So it definitely feels good in the hand now. and the movement's pretty good. Still a little loosey-goosey for me. And then I decided, you know what, I want to be able to change the miniatures without having to stick it to the top, but I can use it the same. Like, if I don't want to do this, what I'm going to do next, I'm going to, yeah, I'll show you. But basically what I did was, I'm like, well, I need to figure out a way to quickly attach another miniature. So what I do, instead of attaching the miniature to this guy, the handle, I'd attach it to this little plate and then somehow attach it to here. So now I can, you know, oh, I want to paint a different one. That way I don't have to have a bunch of handles, because sometimes I'm working in between different miniatures. Sometimes, you know, and I can develop different attachment things. So one of my favorite paint handles that I used to use, I still use it, are these crank-on ones, where you can literally crank down on the miniature and it stays in there. But the downfall is you can't paint the base. You can't paint the rim of the base. And I use them for airbrush too. And sometimes I want this to get primed, and I end up with spots, as you can see, that do not get primed because there's something blocking it. Using the tack allows me to, you know, prime it, and it's reusable. It's, again, it's not a one-time use substance. I can use it a whole bunch of time. But yeah, that was, you know, so that was an iteration. I also changed the handle shape. I don't know if you can see how bulbous it is now. I try to make it a little bit bigger. Again, my hand is different than everyone else's hand, but I might make a few different versions that have different hand sizes. And then version 5 was changing the top, because I knew that I wanted to put a magnet in here. And with the dimple in here, it was really hard, because I don't know if you saw, the bridging isn't the best, because you got to print it this way, because it's got this finding ring. So that ring helps find the center. So boom. So we got there. And then version 6, did I add a magnet to this? Does it have a magnet in it? Yes, I think so. Yep. This is the first time I put a magnet in there. So I embedded a magnet in the actual handle, but it's too weak. It was a 10 millimeter by 2 millimeter magnet. So very small. I don't have any extra. I just had them literally lying around. I have a collection of magnets from other projects. But it's way too weak. Basically, if you were to shake it, it's going to fall off. But it's strong enough to, like, hold on upside down, but not strong enough that I'd like it. Yeah, so I mean, I got there. The magnet also is too weak. I can also rotate way too easily. Like, it actually spins this without spinning the base. That made me annoyed. Thanks, Red Light. So I made it to version 7. And I just changed the handle, and that's it. I just changed the handle size. Oh, 0.7. So I got the handle size a little bit better. I basically you can barely see the iteration. I have every version saved, but a little different. No magnet in it. And then I made this one with a beefy magnet. So if we take the base, that holds on really well. And if I spin the top, unfortunately, it's still not strong enough. So inside the base here, I just have that 10 millimeter by 2 magnet. And here I have an 18 by 2. So that was enough to make it stronger. I ordered some 20 by 3s. So I'm going to try the 20 by 3s and see if they're strong enough. If not, I also bought some 15 by 3s. So I have some options. So this is big magnet, little magnet combo, which is way better than little magnet, little magnet. I mean, you can see, like, even with a little bit of coaxing, it comes apart. But, you know, it worked. But what's really cool is when the magnets are all together, you're going to be able to magnetize all these different bases together. So it'll sit neatly in a pile and be like, cool, I need another base for another miniature I'm working on. And then you can take the miniature off the base, set it down. It's not going to fall over. So that's why I made sure nice and flat. And then I just finished another design, just coming off the printer now. So I went back to the texture, but also wanted to, oh yeah, oh, it locked, but it came off. So this one I tightened the tolerance back up, but a little bit more, so a little bit less. No, yeah. This one has a pretty loose, you can see how loose that is. Quite a bit of movement, like vertical play. This one I tighten it up a little bit, so a lot less play. Still rotates. Put the texture back on, and I think we're there. It doesn't have a magnet though. I'm out of magnets, so I can't give it a true test. I haven't painted with it, so I'm basically trying to get the mechanics correct. And once I have the mechanics correct, and then I'm going to go on to iterating the handle to be as comfy as possible. I'm just trying to get the palm size. So I paint like this. Like I literally paint with my hand in angle, and I have my other hand like resting on my fingers. I paint and I rotate the miniature. Well, normally it'd be, you know, constantly moving my hand. Now it can just be my fingies. Yes, the magnets are actually in, you do a, what's called a pause. So you do a layer pause in the, I'll show you. So right screen, and if we go to the preview here, let me put you guys in another screen so I can see what I'm doing. Yeah. So right here, basically you have to find it, right? Come on, right there. So on this bridging layer, I would add, right click and hit add pause. And then adding that pause will stop before it plays this layer. That way I can actually embed the magnet in this cavity, and it's perfectly fit to pressure fit, but I always add a little bit of glue. So I'll drop a drop of super glue in here, and then drop the magnet in here, and then they'll finish printing up above that. Yeah. Yeah. And then we can even look at the CAD. Like here's the CAD program, and I even set magnet cavity. So if I need to go into the part and edit the part, I can go just to the cavity and I can go, okay, well, you know what? Let's go to a 4mm magnet. Let's go to a 5mm magnet, and I can actually edit that out. Or I can click this out, edit the sketch, and be like, cool, let's go from a 18mm magnet. Let's just change that to a 20mm magnet. So I can quickly just change the settings and then hit boom, apply. Now the cavity in there, I can actually show you by doing this. The cavity in there changes to a 20mm magnet size by 3, 2, I don't know. Whatever it is, whatever I want it to be. I gotta find the chat. There we go. Yeah, oh yeah, you can schedule. That's how we used to do color changes. So back in the day, before the printers could do automatic color changes for you, you would just do a manual color change. So you just put a pause where you want the layers to be. But you can see it's all one piece. So it's actually kind of cool looking at this thing right here, the revolve edit feature. So you can see each component was designed. There's tolerances. So I got a 0.25 here versus 0.2 millimeter. And it just ends up being just a giant bearing. I mean, it's just a bearing within itself. And then I have all the curves manually set, so I can literally go, all right, I want this curve taller here. Oh, wrong setting. I can't change it in this. Boom. Get out of that. Edit the sketch. So I can change the curve here and be like, I want that curve taller. Let's go to 60. You know, so now the curve is a taller curve, but I don't want that. But yeah, before and after. So this is the before the undo. You can see the curve is taller, but this will take a while. Okay, there's a lot of stuff going on here. Oh, my neck. There we go. And edit component. Yep, so you got the two different pieces, and I don't know if this is the final design for the top. There's also a couple changes I want to do to the top because I put the keying in, but I did the keying in a fashion where it's tough to see. The keying kind of goes in, kind of doesn't very deeply because I didn't know how strong the magnets were going to be. Well, I will send them the files. But yeah, I feel like printing these. I might sell them at the local game store if they'll let me. They have other 3D printed stuff. Yeah, main with game. Yeah, but that's where we've gotten. We've gotten to the point where we have a very comfortable handle. I even looked at buying Plastidip and Plastidipping it and have that like in there. But yeah, what's cool is I know that some people love their, that one doesn't have a magnet in it. Some people like to have that overhead. Some people like to have a little armature that comes out. They can rest their hand on the armature and actually can make that a second layer. So you actually develop like in between layer pieces. So if I put another neodymium magnet embedded into like an armature, you can embed that in there and that can be a rotatable armature. So you can rotate the miniature, leave the armature where it's at to give you some stability. I think Lincoln loves this as much as I think he may be able to get a deal with board game. Oh, Lincoln, yeah. Yeah, I watch his live streams all the time when he paints. So, yeah, but I also want to develop, I'm not going to develop a top that's a twist because the mechanism is going to be, I think, a little bit too big. And then the other one I want to make is kind of like the Citadel. The Citadel one has just a clamp on springs. I want to do the same thing and make it a magnet version. So basically you can customize it to how you want to use your painting handle. Because I do like the Citadel painting handle. You know, it's quick to put a miniature in. You grab a mini. Not the best for hexagon bases. It's quick to put a mini in. It holds them fairly well. Like I've had them fall out when I shake them too hard. Mostly on the hexagon bases because they don't lock in the best. My issue with these is they're tippy. I really wanted mine to not be tippy. You know, that's why I'm making the base the way I'm making them. Oh yeah, you can even see it like this. This is tippy. This is not so tippy. It actually should be even less tippy on the new version. Because new version, one cool feature you can do in the slicer. Let me bring this up and send this screen over here and put this over here and show the right screen. So we go to prepare. You can select each object individually, even though it's one component. But if you select just the handle, I actually have that set to a higher infill. You can see that in the preview. Go through here. So the base actually has 15%. So you can do like 30% infill on the base, make it as heavy as you want, as light as you want. Yeah, you can basically make this however you feel you want it to be, because some people don't. I don't have the same preference as someone else, but it is very lightweight. I mean, this is nothing. This weighs as much as a miniature, really. I mean these two things are about the same weight because this is hollow. Oh. Yeah, and then other people can add to it. I'll definitely make it open source so that way, you know, somebody wants to make attachments. I got to perfect how I want the, you know, finding ring and all that. I'm close. You know, it's close. Again, I need to check the stronger magnets. Gosh, I'm so glad I got rid of all that play in the new version because it's so nice not having the play in there. I do like the texture. This I was gonna do knurling. I could do knurling, but I just did this angular texture. I really liked it. I might make the handle more of like a gun handle. Who knows? Like, you know, just something, you know, put a notch in here for the fingers to go into so you can hold it one way. Who knows? But this is iteration 8, so let's go ahead and mark that so I don't forget. We're at 0.8 right now. Version 0.8. And I can't mess with that anymore until I get the magnets. The one thing about iterating things is don't do too many changes because you never know what you're going to, you know, if you change something on here you didn't end up liking on the next one, but you also change the magnet and something else, you know, it's like, oh, too many things got changed. So that's why you see a bunch. I mean, typically I'm a guy who buys a whole bunch of gray filament. That's why I have, like, everything I print is gray. Like, I just buy gray filament. It's, you know, everything's gray that I design. I still do really like this. It's just not very comfortable. This gets very annoying in the hand after, you know, you paint for 4 hours or 3 hours. Not my favorite. But yeah. No magnet. There it is. Yeah, I'm happy. Yeah, lefty. Well, the thing is, I wouldn't make it a left. I wouldn't make it like finger grooved. What I'd do is I'd make it ambidextrous. So it'd just be a thin profile that's wider. That way when it fits, it's almost like, I wish I had something in here that had a similar grip. Basically a pistol grip, but it'd be an ambidextrous pistol grip. You know, almost like a controller where it's wider. When you kind of grab it, it feels natural. We'll see. Yeah, that's the project I'm working on. We'll figure it out. And again, what's nice is, you know, I'll have everything available for people to download. You know, if they want a different handle, and I might design a few different handles. I might, you know, make this fit perfectly for me how I like it. Again, this is the best right now. I've done a few design changes to the curves, and I got that just about right. I think the only thing that doesn't feel right is maybe the thickness of the ring or the diameter of the ring. But I actually have to paint with it, so I might actually just take this one right here and paint with it on the stream, even though the magnet, again, I don't like that part. I gotta figure out the cap. Maybe the cap goes over this. Maybe put a key in there so that way it locks in one spot. You know, put like a little indent. Like only lock in one way. That way it always rotates the handle, even if the magnets aren't that strong. There's one thing about magnets, you'll buy the same size magnet, but there are different strengths. So yeah, no, I don't need, yeah, I always give all my models away for free. I'm more of a design for the fun of it, but I might like print some of my own and sell them at the local game store, like just have a, you know, a little collection of paint handles. I definitely do want to try the plastidiping. I think this texture would do really well for a plastidip and make it like that rubber plastidip feel. And they have even spray plastidip. My only concern is the actual dipping of plastidip is going to get in that little gunky area. But maybe I put like a big sticker on the bottom of this, and then plastidip it, and then peel the sticker off so it doesn't get on in that area. Be the perfect painting handle for me and maybe someone else. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. Ugh. Yeah, and you can make gigantic towers of it. You know, get the height where you want the height to be. So if you just want spacers, so yeah, nearly endless possibilities. They do make in a ton of colors. That's what I was looking at. I was like, ooh, I wonder if I can get a cool purple color. But, and this was it. Like, again, I was trying to find, again, I love the security of the teeth, but this is just, I mean, everyone uses the tack. Like, you know, if it's not tack, it's they glue it to a base. And you could do that. Like, you could make, you can put, you know, you can glue it right to this if you wanted to and just pop it off when you're done. If you want it to be super secure. Options. There's options. But here's where we are right now. We have a nice wall. We're actually here. I just don't have enough magnets. I have a bunch of tiny magnets, but I should actually call my buddy Ryan. He always has a bunch of magnets because he 3D prints a bunch of stuff with embedded magnets. I do like that. Hey, what's up, Rye? Yeah, me it's either been tack or it's been, you know, something has a tooth on it. I've never glued. I see a lot of guys who glue it directly to the handle. So, hope you're having a good day, Rye. Or I guess good morning. early in Australia land, right? 7:30 p.m. here. But that's the project, is this, all of these iterations to get to where we're at. We're at right here with version 0.8. Can't wait till I get the larger magnets on Saturday. Oh, 1120 is not bad. Got a big spike. Whoa, big spike of work. I'm doing better. I've had a cold, and it's finally passing. So if I sound like very nasally, it's there's things building in the sinus cavities, and it makes me sad. Mostly because it's hard to sleep at night because I'll lay down and it's just like all this pressure behind my eyeballs almost makes me tear up. But it'll pass. Yeah, definitely gonna have to try this painting on stream. Get the tolerances work. The one thing I have to worry about is, again, I'm holding at an angle, so the angle is going to put some angular force on this, so it's going to be rubbing in weird ways. So I have a deviated septum, or I would, because I've tried different like neti pot, and it would go in one side and just get stuck, and then I'd be miserable for a while. I'm not sure how good the Navajas work with deviated septums, because if it does suck through and make it better, I might do it, but there's definitely things in there that I don't want in there, but it is what it is. It'll be gone in the next day or two. We had a lot of snow, a lot. We had like almost a foot of snow over the weekend, so my body's a little sore from shoveling. Because the snowblower is dead. I've used this tack so much. There's primer in it. There's stuff. But I also use museum wax. I don't know if you guys ever use museum wax. My wife got one when we were in the US and it works nice. So museum wax is what the museums use to hold down like rare works of art. You take this and you put this, put it on this base. Boop. And it's even stickier than your oh, that has a hollow base. That's the problem. Some of these miniatures have hollow bases, so it's like, what do you do? But once that's on there, it's on there. Ugh. Only downfall, it does leave a little bit of residue. Earwax, yeah, earwax is a great substitute. Not as nice. It's more of a one-time use with museum wax, but I like to use it for when I put miniatures like on my desk or something, and I don't want them to fall over. Like if I'm going to do like a display. Oh, gotta clean my hands of all this wax. Don't want to get all over the miniature. Yeah, this is what art studios and stuff do. I used to do a lot of art studio stuff. And once that's on something, it doesn't go anywhere. That's been waxed. But leaves a little bit of wax residue, but you just heat that up and it comes right off, or rub it with a rag. Then the downfall is it just gunks everything. Like this is now just gunked with wax. Good luck getting that off. So, but options. But it's really literally called museum wax. Used by museum professionals to secure art, glass, statues, china, and more. By Quakehold, with a little earthquake logo. But, yep. I wonder how they get this stuff off when it's actually on. Oh, just rubbing it with the towels makes it hot enough to basically melt it. Oh, that's cool. But now that's wax, this won't stick to it. Oh, ooh, no, don't get wax in there. Yeah, that's all. That's all. And I taught Gigi how to use a stop in the print, or pause in the print, so she can put magnets and stuff. Or you can do a color change. That is the thing. Save this. Save. Done. Save. OS. Oh, it was already saved. Well, let me do it again. But yeah, that has been working on since this morning. Well, ever since I got back from a photo shoot. I had to do a quick shoot this morning, then I sat down. I just been doing this all day. So I made it to version 8. Technically I made 9 because I made a magnet version of number 7. I made a number 7 wherever it went to. Yep, made a 7 without the magnet, and then I made a 7 with a magnet. I did some other changes. Yeah, GG. Fix it. Oh, did you watch Weapons on Friday with the wife with the new TV? And I wish I had a magnet for this one, because I'd love to try this one out, because that feels... Actually, you know what? I can just stick this down with tack 2 for now. What was I thinking? A little tack there. Tack that onto here. There we go. This will be the handle I practice with. Oh, that's on there so good. No, we never, because Matilda's game was on and we watched that. Australian women's soccer. Oh, that's cool. The Matildas. Alright, get a miniature ready on the new handle. There we go. This will be the next mini we paint. It's a little dead guy with an arm that fell off. For obvious reasons. Yeah, that tolerance is way better. Pretty comfortable. I like the texture. It makes it so it doesn't fall out of your hand as easily. Because one thing about 3D prints is they're very smooth. This feels too smooth. It's not really cleric as much as just an... it's more like an undead soldier. In Heroescape, these are common armies. So you get 3 of these guys in a little squad, and they move around, and when one dies, as long as you have another character that's a hero in the faction, it respawns next to them, and you just kind of have an endless swarm. So, yeah. Yeah, they're they don't cast much magic. They attack they're pretty weak. They have 1 hit point. But they're kind of annoying because you'll kill one and then it just comes back to life. Unless you kill all 3 of them. So as long as one survives, like you can literally keep one far away from everything else and be like, haha, I can always respawn and come back alive. So highly recommend Heroescape if you've never played. That has been fun. But I think that's it for my stream. I just really wanted to open up some board games and talk about my paint handle project and all my iterationing. That way I can put all these iterations in a box and not have them all sitting on my desk. They're so curvy. They're big bottom. Oh. They're bowling pins. That's what I should have made. I don't know if you guys have seen the project. There's a guy who made his own bowling, like auto return home bowling alley that uses like a ball like this big, and you can just put up on a desk and you can bowl in your house, and literally knocks the pins down. Ball gets returned to you. It picks up the pins, sets the pins down, and reorganizes the ones that were stayed or that stayed standing, and then racks the old pins. And then when your set's over, they'll re-rack the whole set. And it's on Kickstarter right now, from what I remember. Turn the camera off. But I need to go take my meds, and I think I'm gonna relax the rest of the evening. Today's a relaxed day. So Gigi, you finish that closet, and Rai, you do the work. The work asks you to do. At least some of it. And on that note, I'm gonna turn into a pumpkin and enjoy the rest of my evening before I turn into a sleepy beauty. Yep, I'm gonna turn from a pumpkin to sleepy beauty. No problem, Rai. Thanks for stopping by. It was short, but I just want to open up a few games so I can start printing inserts for them. And really, I don't have much inserts to print for any of them. That was disappointing. I guess I didn't have to open them. I could have waited. But yeah, I don't have too much more to print besides this project, so I was like, okay, cool. I can't print any more of these handles until I get the other magnets and make sure that they fit without having to change any dimensions of things. Like, I don't want to perfect anything on this and then figure I got to change dimensions on something else in here that drastically changes how if this got to get taller, then I'd probably make the bottom shorter, and oh, I spent all that time making it all perfect to fit my hand. Now I got to redo it. So delivery, was it to deliver some Tim Tams to your wife? Hopefully she likes Tim Tams. The only thing I know about Australia, besides everything is dangerous, there's beautiful beaches, Aborigines, crocodiles, Sydney, the Opera House, and Tim Tams. And Ann Borden, she's a national treasure. I don't know if you've seen her YouTube channel. Oh, I guess, and Dank Pods and the other guy. Oh, you deliver a tiny shelf. Oh, yeah, definitely time for some stomach burn is happening. So, all right, my Aussie friends, have a wonderful afternoon, and Gigi, good luck on your closet murdering, and we'll catch you all on another day, or evening, or nighttime. Until then, may your prints be successful. That's it.